This episode is brought to you by Betadine. When you feel the sign, Betadine.
Hello and welcome back to the Rebel Mama podcast. I'm Aleks Jassem.
And I'm Nikita Stanley. And today we are diving into a topic that is near and dear to our hearts. It's fashion, baby.
More specifically, how fashion can translate into pleasure.
And to help us dissect this concept is one of the most fashionable people in our orbit, the one and only Irene Kim.
Hi.
We're going to embarrass you and read
about
your...
this pleasure angle, by the way.
Oh, you
now
didn't?
I feel like
Oh, no.
I feel like
we'll ask you the right questions.
Well, before we dive in, we're going to go through your bio.
Okay.
So you might blush a little bit while we read it, but that's par for the course. Irene is a superstar stylist and the voice behind one of the most iconic fashion substacks ever in Moda Veritas.
So good.
She is the co-owner of a full-service fashion consultancy firm called La Closet, through which she has styled hundreds of personal shopping clients and created fabulous uniforms for the likes of the Park Hyatt, the Drake Hotel, the Hazelton Hotel, and more. She is a globetrotter, a foodie, a friend, a wife, a mom, and so much more. Welcome to the podcast, Irene.
Thank you, guys. I think, oh my goodness, we've known each other for so long, right?
Well, I was gonna say we should go through our meet cute because we had a really good meet cute.
Yeah, we had a good meet cute. And actually, right before I got here, my husband's like, "Oh yeah, I met those girls. Remember that?"
That's
Remember
right.
that?
I met him like 4 minutes after I met you. I remember I was coming down the escalator
Yeah.
of Hazelton Lanes.
Yeah.
What was the event that was happening there?
Some pop up, maybe.
Yeah, it was a fashion event. I feel like, was it during
Was I
TIFF?
there?
I don't know if you were there.
Where was
You
I?
were not there.
You weren't there.
You were not there.
I was alone. I was running a solo mission.
Yeah.
And I came down the escalator and I'm a girl's girl. So I always am going to compliment somebody
Me
when
too.
I see a cute
Always.
outfit. Always.
Always.
And I spotted you and I was like, I got to compliment that lady because she looks
Aw.
fabulous. And then I guess we locked eyes
Mm-hmm.
and you came to me as I was coming
Did
to
you?
you.
I did.
Wow.
I had something
This
to
is
say.
so romantic, guys.
She had
With the
something to say.
escalator.
I know, with the escalator too.
But I
It's
already
very
knew who she
dramatic.
was. And I was like thinking about buying the book, but I was like, oh, I was deep in the depths of, not very good stuff with child rearing.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm just going to buy it right here.
That's right. And you bought it right in
I
front
bought
of
it
me.
right on the spot,
Yes.
so.
But we had a little
Yeah.
bit of a mutual
Bond.
fangirl
Yeah.
bonding moment.
For sure.
And then I met your lovely husband
Mhm.
and the friendship started from there.
Yeah.
But it was a very cute meet cute.
It was.
That
it was
is
very
really
cute.
I
cute.
will say.
I
Well-
do remember being in New York, though, with you. Do you remember
Oh
that?
my God.
And the
that's
meat packing
right.
district?
Oh my God, yes,
At
I
the
remember. And you met
hotel?
my husband again.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I swear I'm not with my husband usually.
Why are you
actually.
always with
I
your
prefer-
husband?
That's right. I forgot about New
Yeah.
York.
Yeah.
And we just happened to be there at the same time.
That's
Yeah.
right. It was for your book and you were touring New
Yeah,
York.
yeah.
And so I was there for something.
And we had a little, and that hotel was great. Or hotel, or was it a bar?
It was at the Standard. At
Yeah.
the Hyatt.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like
Yeah.
the Boom Boom Room?
The
or
Boom
something?
That's it. Oh,
so
sexy.
Yes. I fucking love that.
I love that place, too.
It's like, it's a
It's
classic.
the coolest.
You can't go wrong. But I remember when I met you,
Mm-hmm.
we were talking a little bit about, I think you were just starting to get more into fashion at that
Yeah.
time. And you had a really good backstory. So why don't you share that backstory with the class? How did your
What year was
unconventional
this?
road to fashion?
When was your book out?
2018?
Yeah. So that's probably when I met you.
Yeah, but that was before HarperCollins. That was when
Yeah,
it
when
was
we were
still
in New York, though,
self-published.
that
Oh
makes
yeah, it was
sense.
when it was self-published for
so
sure.
that would have been
Yeah, 2018. We were in New York.
okay. Yeah,
So,
2017
okay,
or
call it
2018.
17, 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess I used to be a lawyer.
I guess I used to be a lawyer.
in Toronto. I was a securities lawyer in Toronto. And I switched out to be a lawyer initially for a startup fashion magazine. So how it started was I was practicing law, and then about a year before I left, somebody took my photograph on the street for Blog TO for a street style shot. And you know how they're like, what's your name? What's your profession? So I was like, blah, Irene, blah, lawyer. And a year later, this person calls me for legal advice. They're like, I'm starting this startup fashion magazine. I need,
Yeah, that's so funny.
I need a lawyer. And I'm just like, I don't think I told you what kind of lawyer I was. Like, I really could have been a wills and estates lawyer, but she was just like
a lawyer.
I like your style. Can you give me legal advice?
So I'll give you a call. Anyway, so I did their legal work, but then I had been kind of itching to get out of law. I'd been at the job for 5 years at that point, and I had thought about all sorts of ways. I was like applying for master's degrees. I was, actually the master's degree was in public health, actually, because I have other interests. Didn't feel right. But for whatever reason, this just felt right to me. It made no sense. It was...
You got to follow your intuition, though.
It really made no sense, yes.
Yeah.
And, it's a startup, which means I'm not making money. It's like backed by a venture, but I'm not the one getting paid.
Right.
But I said, you know what? I also want to be an editor and I want to write because I've always loved writing. And so that's what I did. I became a part owner, I became editor, I became writer. All of a sudden I had media credentials. I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing?
I love that you leaned into it.
I totally leaned into it because I was like, I cannot do this job without taking a crash course in journalism. I downloaded all the journalism courses. I was like, what are ethics in journalism? I wanted to do right by what I was doing, right? And I took my media credentials. I applied to go to all the fashion weeks and they accepted me. So
that's amazing.
Here I am at the Isabel Marant show. Here I am at the Issey Miyake show. I'm like, what am I doing here? I'm crashing the party.
You're still not quite comfortable in your new skin.
You know what? It took me so long to get comfortable. And I think a lot of women probably listening who change professions from a profession or a certain job title, it takes a while to shed that identity. And I felt very insecure about that for quite a while. I mean, we're talking at least 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Wow.
And it's only recently that
you're like, I think I'm pretty good now. I think I have clout.
It wasn't even that. It was like, I think I can call myself a stylist now without saying, you know what? I had a previous education before, and that's how I felt.
Right.
That's so funny. It's imposter syndrome is so real.
It's
you start
so
to
real. It's so real.
Don't feel deserving of it for so long.
Yeah.
But lawyers are master communicators anyway. I feel like if you have that as your background and you have a passion, you can
on paper. I'm good. There's some of us who are good litigators. I was not one of them. I'm just I was a solicitor who did stuff on paper.
Okay.
Which is why I like writing, right?
Yeah, your writing is super effective. I mean, your newsletter is one of the few newsletters, and I'm like, ooh.
I know your newsletter is the only one I don't delete. Including ours, by the way. But that's because we wrote it.
And
I know it's
ours?
only I keep some of them if they're if I need the info. But we wrote it. It's in the back end of MailChimp if I really need a reference. So people, including us, view you as a source of style inspiration. So we want to know who you credit with influencing you in your style.
Oh,
Is it a long list?
A lot of people will say, I will definitely say my mom. She was definitely a fashion woman when I was younger, and I looked up to her a lot. I do want to say, though, I feel like I've been doing this job now for 12 years. I've met hundreds of people. They are size 000 to size 22 and up, G cup to flat AA, all sorts of different ages and lifestyles. And in my experience, and maybe you can add to my data points, but it takes a long time to really develop a personal style. And I find that, in your 20s and your teens, you may be into fashion a lot, but what you're expressing is often somebody else's point of view.
That's the trend usually.
It's the trend, right? Or it's something that's been manufactured by a brand or something you see in a music video or whatever it is. And then you start to come into your own skin in your 30s. But then, of course, in your 30s, all this other stuff is happening to us moms, right? We're getting married. We're getting divorced. We're not getting married. We're having children. And then it's really in our 40s that I feel like from what I see in my clients, that you see people start settling into their skin, start really understanding who they are, what they want to express, what's important to them. And that's where people really start to blossom. Like 40s are it. Nikita, you're not there yet.
I know.
But
I
she's
am in my
seeing.
soul.
She
babe.
is, and she is in her
I'm
soul
actually
for
an
sure.
octogenarian in my soul.
And you've been into style for so long, and you're always on that tip. Like, I think you've really honed in on your style, despite the fact that she's not 40 yet. Yes, everyone, she's the only one. But I agree with you on that. And through motherhood, I just want to touch on that, because you prioritize comfort. You live in leggings. You buy basics and like things that can get puked on and dirty and things like that. You might have special things that you wear out, but you're right. When your kids are a little bit older and you're in your 40s, and you can kind of have more time to like live in that style of your own.
And even your listeners who are in like a corporate job, right? So like when I was a lawyer, I was still like mid to late 20s, early 30s, still early in my career, because we only start lawyering after articling around 26, 27. Right. So you want to look the part. You're in those full suits and looking very corporate. And it takes a while for you to become comfortable with yourself and confident in your work to be able to then say, okay, I can start bringing it into what I'm wearing. So it's just it's a long progression, I think.
I mean, you still got stopped by BlogTO
I
when
know,
you were
it's
lawyering.
true.
Clearly, you were wearing something very chic.
Can I tell you? So I saw it posted online.
I want to know what you were wearing.
I know, me too.
It was like this. I remember it was, I had basically a shaved head. It was like really short. I had these big, thick Tom Ford glasses. I had a Sicily. Do you remember Sicily? Sicily. It was just like this wrap blanket and jeans. And I was reading the comments, and somebody said, "Oh, I thought this was supposed to be a girl." I was like,
"Oh my god!"
Don't worry, it's just a BlogTO.
It happens to me all the time. But anyway, it happened to me when I didn't have longer hair. But
all of the hair. Yeah, I mean,
that wouldn't happen today, which is nice.
No, people have gotten their shit together a little bit better than that now.
Yeah.
Well, maybe then we need to skip to go to this question, because if you're saying that, like, you know, as you get older, you're a little bit more in tune with what you want to communicate. Like, I really view fashion as a tool for communication.
For sure.
So,
and mood and like.
Yeah. Like, do you agree with that? Is that how you view it too?
Yeah. I mean, it's personal. It's how you feel and how you want to communicate. But you can't deny that it matters how you present yourself in the world, and depending on how important that is in the environment you're in, you know, that's a consideration as well.
So what are you communicating today with this fabulous outfit?
I'm simply communicating that I walked into the VSP showroom yesterday and bought this top.
It's great.
Well,
is that like a vest?
That's basically the reason why
I
bought it. And I do want to say this vest is by Acris, which, no offense to Acris, because I think they make beautiful, beautiful clothes. But every time I see their clothes in Holt Renfrew, I'm like, it's too mature for me. But this is what I mean by, like, don't look at brands, right? I just saw it and I said,
it's great.
I need that.
And it's giving me 70s vibes too.
It is 70s. It's so not what I normally wear. I don't wear a lot of color. I don't wear suede. I don't tend to wear tops that are actually quite fitted to my body, which this is. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying take a chance.
Nice.
Take a chance.
Okay, good. What are you saying?
What's Me? I don't know. I feel very feminine today.
Very demure.
I don't know about demure, just feminine.
Mindful.
Definitely mindful. But I do think it matters. And we always we take care in what we look like, whether it's just like a casual meeting at Soho House, or like we're going and doing a fancy thing, or we're at an event, or we're speaking, or we're on a panel. Like, it changes the vibe what you wear.
So this outfit to me is totally you. Like, I feel like I could see
it's very Chloe-esque, which is
I could have seen you wear this a year ago.
Yeah.
You know? I'm sorry, 10 years ago too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's always like,
it's a little bit 60s, 70s always. It's feminine.
Yeah.
It's a little romantic and like a little bit of rock and roll. What are you saying with she couldn't get too feminine.
No.
So that's why she added the masculine, because you have a love of the masculine.
I do. I worked in menswear.
Right.
I really enjoy men's tailoring. And I also, something doesn't feel right when I'm 100% girly.
Mhm.
Like I always have to
Same.
add in a masculine edge.
Same.
Like I have combat boots on with this and
Mhm.
cargo pants, and like, yes, I'm wearing like very feminine accessories, but I had to like anchor it with some glasses. And
Mhm.
like I'm always kind of towing that line
Mhm.
between masculine and feminine. I don't know what that
I think it's a balance
communicates.
too. I feel that way too sometimes. It's a bit of a balance. And sometimes when you're not in the, that's why it's so hard for me to always pack for, I don't know what mood I'm going to be in. Like, what if I don't feel girly? Then I do pull out the men's shirts and I'm all like, you know,
Yeah.
it doesn't, it just depends.
Packing is different because it is
I
hard
need
to,
options
Yeah.
because weather and mood, right?
Mhm.
And you wake up, if you're bitchy, like you're wearing black.
I do pack mostly darker colors because I feel like if you spill something
Yes.
on your like white, perfect white outfit that you packed, like you're
Mhm.
done.
Yeah.
So I tend to pack like darker, maybe a little color story, like black, gray, navy, and then just kind of like
Color story. I
mix
love
and
it.
match within that. And I do the same for my kids. Hot tip: pack dark things for your kids,
Yeah.
Oh,
and
you
then they
actually
can
Well-
match
like.
your kids? Oh.
No, I don't match them. I
Okay.
just am like, I don't want them to look like a stained disaster.
Right.
So I'm like, here's your black t-shirt and your black shorts
Right.
or your navy,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
just they can get dressed after that. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Sorry, but related to that, the process of putting a look together. Can
Yeah.
you walk us through that?
So much is dependent on mood, right?
Mhm.
You know, there's a lot of days where I just want to feel really pretty and feminine. Although I can't go all out, there's always has to be some anchoring masculine vibe. But I would say a lot of my vibe too is very relaxed and casual. Like I can't feel like I'm too done up
Yeah.
ever. And
I
if
feel
it
the same.
if it does, I have to undo something.
Yeah,
Like,
Me too.
um,
I'm like, this is too
so-
perfect.
Exactly. So I start with sort of an anchoring piece, whatever I'm feeling that day. It could be a pair of jeans. It could be like this big poofy Cecily Bunsen lilac ruffled skirt. And
You
then,
have so many great stories.
and then I think the first thing I always look at is proportion, like the
Mm.
shape of the silhouette before anything else. Because to me, that's going to make or break how I feel about the look. And I guess when I look at outfits, I think of it as a composition, almost like a photo or a piece of
Mhm.
art. It's like there's a balance involved, right?
An
Yes.
aesthetic. Yeah.
So if that balance is off, I'm just like, I feel it.
And you have to be confident. So if that balance is off and you're not confident, that's
Yeah.
the worst feeling when you're dressed in something
Yeah,
that you
no.
don't feel good in, then your
It has-
body language and your mood
Totally,
and everything else
100%.
changes.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's about, okay, so for example, this, which is fitted, I rarely wear fitted tops. Like the pants I'm wearing are like wide. They need to balance that. And usually it's actually wide and whatever. And
And maybe a little
Wide and
cinch in the
wide is
middle.
your
Maybe a
style,
cinch
everybody.
somewhere. And then the next thing I think about is just the balance of actual materials. You know, I
Mhm.
like having like a mix of things like textures and fabrics and just to play off of each other. Because sometimes I think if you're just wearing all cotton, it feels
Mhm.
a bit bland. Like for you, for example, you have like the lace, but you mix it with the denim, and obviously
Yeah.
you have the traditionally, what do you call this again? Cable knit.
Yes.
But you have all the other elements that mix it
Yeah,
with
and then
the
like
nylon
the nylon
collar.
and the pants
Exactly.
and
Like
the
those
leather
are
sheath.
very important to me
Yeah.
to be able to mix
Yes.
that. And then finally, and sometimes I don't care, but like sometimes you just want to be different and you want to start playing, and that's when I'm like, okay, how
Those
can I
are
make
fun
this?
nights
Yeah,
and
they're
days.
totally
yeah, or
fun.
you feel like you kind of want to take on a character or you're in a mood.
Exactly.
Bring something in or try something, test it out on the
Exactly,
streets. I like to
yeah.
do that sometimes too. Like, let me test this.
I love how like Nikita has this beautiful way of pairing like an excess of patterns together and somehow it looks good. Like stripes on
yes.
stripes and like
Amazing.
animal prints and it looks
Yes,
really good on
lots
you.
of
I
stripes,
never
Lots
do
of
it.
animal prints.
Sure, her inspo's Jeff Goldblum for anyone that
Always.
needs to know.
Whenever I'm like really stumped, I'm like, what would Jeff Goldblum do?
I was totally embarrassed to admit, because Jurassic Park came out when?
Oh my god, we don't even want
early
to talk about
90s?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I
feel
was
like
embarrassed to admit to my friends that I had a crush on that man. But
She does.
talking about following instincts when you're 12, I was like, that man.
Look
is
how he's
hot.
aged.
That's the one. That's the fucking
Everyone
one.
was like,
No, wherever he leads, I will follow.
He's the
I'm like,
coolest.
whatever
Was
you
he
want.
And he's just
not
getting
so
cooler.
hot?
Always.
Oh my God.
Always. And he's only gotten better with age.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about like somebody being comfortable in their
Totally.
skin
Mhm.
and confident in their style choices, like that's the goal.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's just doing that for him and because it delights him.
I'm just thinking, you know, Bill Nye?
The science guy?
No. That's Bill Nye. Bill Nye? Is that his name?
I'm dead.
He was the guy in,
I love that you haven't forgotten that.
You know,
though. We
Love
should have him on
Actually,
the show.
he's the old rocker that's like all washed away.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Do you remember that guy? He dresses really fun too. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, I appreciate that in somebody. Someone just like, and if you want to tie pleasure into the conversation, like
Yeah.
that's where it comes in. It's like
Mhm.
you're dressing to please yourself
Mhm.
at the end of the day. Like this is not an exercise for, there are some times when, yes, you're communicating a message, especially if you're going into a situation where maybe you want a little extra boost of confidence or you
Right.
want people to perceive you a certain way, sure. But day to day, if you're just getting up and getting dressed, like I feel like
You could
that
do something
should
nice
just
for
be
yourself.
for you. Like
Yeah.
what's going to make you giggle today? Or like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't mind if people look at me a little bit funny when I'm walking around. Like
sometimes-
I feel great.
Yeah.
And it's for me.
And sometimes I find people save the good stuff for special occasions.
Never.
And I
Don't
feel
do
like,
it.
don't do it. I
Yeah.
definitely agree with you. And I had to like teach myself that too. It's like, why can't I wear this shirt right now? Because
Yeah.
it was expensive or because it's special or because of this? Why not? Life
When are
is
you gonna
short.
wear
Enjoy
it?
it. Even
Yeah.
if you're going for a coffee. Like it doesn't need to be
Absolutely.
a special occasion.
Yeah.
I have this test though. I feel like if I walk out of the room and my husband's like right away, he loves the outfit. I'm like, okay,
No.
it's too basic.
Yeah.
Like, I need to go back and change. It's like all TNA or it's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It appeals to that.
I want you to
Okay,
kind of
so-
cock your head to the
Yeah.
side. and I
Are
want
you
your
wearing
eyebrow
that?
down.
You're like, perfect.
Yeah. Is that really what you're wearing? You're like, abso-fucking-lutely.
Exactly.
Now it is. If I wasn't sure before, I am now. You're
I mean,
doubt.
straight men usually don't get it in terms of that kind of eccentric
No. We
fashion.
dress for the gays and for the girls.
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
And for ourselves. Okay, let's pause here for a quick break. And when we get back, we'll dive in a little bit deeper.
Cold season has officially arrived, and ain't nobody got time for that. That's why, as soon as we feel that dreaded tickle in our noses, we reach for betadine. When used at the first sign of symptoms, betadine Cold Defense Nasal Spray traps and disables viruses in the nasal cavity, which shortens the duration of a cold. And you know what that means, right? Less time being sick and more time enjoying all the beauty this season has to offer. To be sure betadine products are right for you and your family, always read and follow the label. The indicated age varies for each betadine product. Feel a sign? Betadine.
Okay, we are back. And we thought maybe we'd get a little bit practical for people.
Okay.
So we're talking about fashion as a tool for self-expression. So what advice would you give to people who want to express themselves through fashion, but they don't even know where to start? Like,
Right.
what's that? What kind of thought process can we invite them to
Okay. So
embrace?
I know this is like you want me to encourage, pleasure and that sort of thing, but I'm such a logical person.
No,
I'm so
do it.
sorry.
It's
I have
okay.
to go.
Pleasure and logic can live.
So
together.
when I work with clients, I've done this for so long. I've worked with so many people that the average person that comes to me is kind of like us, right? We just live our lives. We have our kids or we don't have kids. We're doing our job. We're not dressing to go to parties every single night. We're not in fashion magazines. And so it's really important to have, most important thing, we don't have unlimited budgets. There you
Fair.
go.
Yes, that too.
So I really think it's important for people to develop a wardrobe that's functional for their lifestyle and that is versatile and that they love. So there's three parts to that, right? So functional means that it has to meet the needs of their lives. So it's really important when I meet clients that they do sort of think about how they spend their life. How much of it is in the car? How much of it is walking to the the kids to school? How much of it is grocery shopping? How much are you actually going out at night? And break that down into the types of clothes that you need, right? And then the versatility piece is at first starting with a foundational wardrobe of pieces that you can really mix and match and bring into, you can mix and match with each other, but then eventually that when you start bringing in all those special pieces, that you can anchor those special pieces with those foundational pieces.
Right.
And then finally, it is about the love piece. Like I would hope that when you buy clothes and you have a wardrobe that you love everything in it, right? Some are useful, so you can just be like, I need that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the issue is, I think a lot of people have closets where I would say 80% of their closet is sort of like, I
Meh.
could take it or leave it, right?
Yeah.
And that is the issue that I deal with a lot. So to counteract that really is like when you go shopping is to ask yourself, like, do I really love this piece? And what is it about? And to understand what you love is really about knowing yourself and asking yourself those questions. What makes me feel good? What sort of fabrics do I like on my skin? What colors do I like to wear? How do I want to feel in my clothes? You know, you talk about some masculine edge, for example. You talk about femininity. So those are the type of questions that you need to ask yourself. Yeah. So
And
that's
I
how
do-
I approach it.
I think sometimes, and I think sometimes people, because fast fashion is fast fashion and it keeps pumping out trends and there's social media and all this stuff, for the people that don't know what to buy, they just go run and get the things. And then, 6 months later, they're over it.
Yeah.
It was never theirs to begin with though, right? So it's better to just choose those pieces that really speak to you, really make you feel good. That's what I love about vintage shopping too.
Yeah.
It's just like
Huge.
something speaks to you and you know it's going to look great and nobody else is going to carry it like you do, right? And I've edited my closet to only have things in it
Perfect.
that I love and I can wear.
Can we do a show
Like-
in your closet?
Oh my
Can you
God, we
show
should.
up?
Her
Oh my
closet's
goodness,
amazing.
Let's see your
Babe,
closet.
I need more room.
No, it's pretty
That,
perfectly
you
organized.
know what though?
It is.
That is also a reality, right? So we talk about, we would love to have all this room but that is not the reality
No.
of people, nor is an
No.
unlimited budget, nor is all sorts of things. So we have to work within the reality of what we have.
Yeah.
Which
And I
you're
go through it.
representative of everybody pretty much.
I mean, I go through and I declutter. If I know there's something I haven't worn in a couple years and I'm over it, I just give it to my nieces or I pass it over because I like to just go into my closet and look at it as if like everything's going to fit and
Exactly.
everything's going to make me feel great.
Yeah. Yeah. I tend to get rid of things that like when I put on, I'm like, I don't feel amazing. Like if I put something on, I want to instantly, whether it's like something that's not, classically flattering, as long as when I put it on, I'm
Exactly.
like, yes.
It's
Yeah,
about
and you know it. Yeah.
It's about you.
Yeah.
So examples for me are of things that no matter how cute it is or if it's on trend or whatever, if it sits on my skin and I'm just like, that feels just not great, that's done.
Sometimes
Yeah.
fabrics are just
Right?
Yeah.
like if you're already itchy in there and you don't like it.
It's not even so, and I'm not opposed to synthetics or anything, but there's some synthetic blends that just don't feel great,
Yeah.
If you try something on and there's like a seam that's like off or just you have to keep adjusting it, that's for me, that's either you go tailor it right away or it's done, because I know I'll never feel
That's a
comfortable in
great
it.
point. If
Yeah.
I have
Yes.
to
Adjust.
fidget with something before I leave the house, I take it off.
Well, yeah,
because it's
so you're
going to
be doing it all
in
night.
my head all day. Oh my God. Like, this,
Yeah.
sometimes you put on a skirt and like it likes to move. So if it's a mini skirt, for example, especially, it will turn so that the zipper is now inching towards your hip. And then you're spending the whole night trying to make sure that it's straight. And it's so distracting.
It
Like
is.
at that point, I'm wearing jeans. Like I am not even messing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're past that age where, like, in our teens and our 20s, we would stand
no,
in a
if we're not-
specific way to
No.
make sure the whole outfit was.
Remember
No, we're done. We're done with
T-Rex
that.
arms?
Yes.
We used to always
T-Rex
go to
arms.
parties with our little coats over and then we just couldn't do anything. We were like holding our purses and like trying to get a drink. Like, okay, this is all we can do.
Yeah, no, none of that anymore. Okay, I think that's very excellent advice, actually. So let's talk about this then. So I find that the style I admire most tends to mix high and low street fashion. And that becomes really interesting and very individual. And I really appreciate that. But that does require investing in some key pieces. So I find those pieces tend to do a lot of heavy lifting. But when there are big ticket items to consider, like what are you advising your clients to invest in? Like if
invest money wise?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, I would say 99% of the people I work with, it's get your foundational basics. Okay. So that is those 4 or 5 pants that you turn to all the time, the couple of blazers, the 5 pairs of shoes, those very key functional and versatile pieces. The thing is, nowadays, and the logic is like, oh, I should invest a lot in those. And you could, but there are also options. There are a lot of options to get those kind of pieces in, more friendlier price points, right? So where that's possible, and there's things like, for example, the Uniqlo cashmere sweater. That's a really good piece. Or Uniqlo has a great merino wool turtleneck. That's really good. Sometimes Zara has good jeans that you just
Zara
wear
has great jeans.
Yeah. I have to say those Zara's jeans, it has to be the 100% cotton that are
Agree.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
right?
Hard agree.
Because if it's
What's
if
the
it's
other ones?
the
With the
stretchy
stretch
ones,
Yeah.
the
You're
hard
right.
cotton ones are like awesome.
Yes.
That's
And
a
it's a great
controversial opinion.
price point.
It's a good price point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, when I work with people and we talk about investments, we have to keep in mind the reality of a lot of people as well, and just in terms of budget. So I really encourage people to try to build those things. And then the other thing too is shoes. Like I find, especially with the kind of wardrobes people have now, which are a lot more pared down and capsule, like shoes are everything. So if you want to make a statement with your shoes, for sure you can buy cheap shoes, but also there's somewhere I would invest in to get like the design or style that you really want.
And you can do that on consignment.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
So I would say at this point, maybe 30 to 40% of my clothes are on consignment, or vintage, or
Yeah, I would say
secondhand.
about the same too. And shoes for sure, because sometimes you look at them, you're like, nobody's worn these.
Yeah.
Like I
I would say half of my shoes are secondhand, which some people find gross, but
No, not at all.
I am 100% on that train, Nikita.
No. And then those ones, like the ones that I get and I love, I'll resole them.
Yep.
Like I am like, no, these are,
Yep.
if I'm going to invest in them, and footwear is something that I invest in because it actually affects your whole body. Like if you're
And
not
it
wearing good
lasts
shoes,
so long.
it lasts a long time, but like your knees will feel it and your hips will feel it and your back will feel
So
it.
the other thing I do for sure, the resole if it needs it. But one of the questions I get, of course, living in Toronto is, what do we do in winter? It's, slippery, it's snowy. So I resole it with one of those like the grip pads, and that really helps with a lot of shoes that may slip otherwise.
Where's your favorite place to go do that?
Oh my goodness. So there was a place that closed down. I forgot the name. It was on DuPont Street, DuPont and Davenport.
Oh yes, they were good.
They were really good.
And then Yorkville.
Caners is good too.
Caners, yeah.
Okay.
Caners is under Winners on Bloor.
That's right.
Like right by the
and
subway.
they've been there forever.
And they do a lot of high-end stuff. Like they can like repaint your Louboutin soles red, or they have like if you want to get it resold with something that's not slippery as hell, they have like the red version.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. No, they know what they're doing there too. Those are, and then there's a good one in Bloor West Village too. There's a really good cobbler. I think he's on Dury at Bloor.
Good to know. Hot tips.
Yeah.
But
and they sell the shearling insoles there, which every Torontonian needs in their lives.
Or
like
you can just stay home all day.
Either that or don't leave your
go
house.
outside. Put
Those
on your
choices.
But I do think, like, having said that, you can still find quality pieces by looking at what they're made from, where they're made, like, and actually a lot of vintage is quality because it used to be made so well.
Totally.
And there's great price points there. So
okay, do you guys remember? Not you, because you're so young.
Me, please.
Do you remember Jacob?
Yeah, I used to work
Wait.
there.
But I would say, because when I was growing
love
up, they had
Jacob.
these like wool sweaters from made from like
They had
Italian
great
wool.
basics.
All their mills were in Italy. They were such good quality.
Mm-hmm.
And then right around the early 90s, it switched. It started moving into fast fashion, basically the whole industry.
Yeah.
And by 2000, it was crap, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's the same case for everything that's vintage. Anything that's pre 1990 is going to be made
true.
pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true too. Whenever I'm in a vintage store, I'm like, ooh, this looks like a nice oldie tag.
Yeah.
Oh, I love those and the silk tops.
Yeah. Oh my God, the silk. Vintage silk is the best.
I got a blazer from VSP that was made in West Germany. I was like, yes.
Oh yeah, that's all you need to know. If I saw West Germany on a tag, I'd be like, yes.
Yeah.
It was 100% wool Escada blazer for
Oh my
$85.
God.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
You see?
$85, and I can't even imagine the quality. It's amazing. So
Oh my God.
And
we
there's
need
so
to
many
see this
great
blazer.
consignment stores now. Anyway, there's lots of options.
Yeah. Irene also has discount codes.
I do.
At all of the
We're
best
gonna
places.
we're gonna leave them in our notes on
Yeah.
the podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna-
Every promo code possible.
Yeah. Okay, so we took a little peek through our private group
Okay.
before we sat down because a lot of the mamas in there do have fashion inquiries, and we thought we'd bring them to you and you can give us your expert advice. So one thing that came up over and over was denim.
Okay.
Always.
People are fucking freaking out
Always.
over
Okay.
denim because there's so many new styles. And one day something is out, next day
Skinny
something is
jeans.
back in. It's like, it's very overwhelming. Like for us fashion girls, we're like, whatever, we'll embrace everything.
That trend cycle it's obnoxious, actually.
Yeah.
It
It's
is.
It's obnoxious and it's exhausting.
Agree.
And I have one eye on it because I kind of need to.
Yeah.
But I basically advise people like a trend is an opportunity to see if you like something and it works for you.
Oh, great way to say it.
So if something comes in like right now, what are people talking about? Barrel leg jeans
Yes.
again? I mean, I bought barrel leg jeans like 5 years ago. And
Right.
like to me, actually, they will forever be my fit for the reasons I will tell you now. So when it comes to jeans, when it comes to anything, we're going to talk about jeans, but it's really anything. You need to know if you feel good in it and if it fits your body the way you want. That's really all that matters. So if the jean you pick feels great, continue to wear it.
Mhm.
If you're like, oh, that's out of style, like I want to feel more fashion forward, wear the jean that you feel the best in and then bring the fashion forward in a different part of your look. Okay, so that would be my advice there, because I would say for the majority of the closet, I would say 90% of the closets that I look at, the bottoms are the sticking point. And that's because for women, this is the part that changes the
Mhm.
most. It's always, and it's all
Your
variable.
hips.
And
Yeah.
so like,
Yeah.
it's impossible to be like, okay, that pair of jeans is going to fit every single type of body. Like it's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, and it's always changing on us monthly too,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
So
Casual.
it's so
Can't
annoying.
wear these jeans. I'm on
So,
my period.
I guess
every girl knows that. Like,
Yeah, not those ones.
So I think when I talk to clients about jeans, so understand your rise. Do you guys understand what a rise is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the distance from
From
your
the
crotch
crotch.
up to your waist,
Mhm.
right? So some people are very long here, some people are shorter here. So the distance of the rise is going to determine where that waistline falls on your torso.
Mhm.
That's a huge thing. Some people like it lower, some people like it higher. And then inseam too, right? You want to make sure that the inseam is correct. So that's the distance from your crotch to the floor. So you just want to have that in mind when you're buying jeans. But other than that, really, I would say try on a lot. I can name them off: barrel, straight, skinny,
Yeah.
flare,
Crop
whatever
flare.
you feel
Yeah.
good in.
Mhm.
Whatever you feel good in is what you should be wearing.
It's because things get trendy and people are like, oh my God, everybody's wearing mom jeans or high rise or like,
Mhm.
ew, skinny jeans. You're like a horrible human being
Yeah.
for wearing those outside. And then
Yeah,
people
but now
get
horse
caught
girl
up.
aesthetic is coming in. So now we need the skinny jeans back for the
Yes,
riding
I've been
boots
riding
and the,
horses
like-
since like 12. I finally come around. But that's the thing too, right? Like flares weren't cool for a little bit there and then they came back. Bootleg, same thing. And
but
like
they came back to who? And who's
and- well,
the
that's
one
the
who's
thing,
like,
it's like-
that's cool? It's
The
us.
youth.
It's you,
celebrities,
right?
the youth. It's this
Wait,
girl.
did we already establish Most of the youth don't even know what their own style is,
Yes,
right?
it's true. But that's why they're so interested in
Right.
what the trend is, because I think that they are trying on like all these different second skins to see what is going to work for them, right?
Actually, I commend them, and I feel like that was a part of all of our processes, right? So you go for it.
You were more open back then, maybe. That's what it was.
More
Just
open,
like-
more confused.
Yeah. Yes, true. Just
More
lost.
easily influenced. Okay, so another question that comes up a lot is shapewear.
Mm-hmm.
Do you use shapewear? Do you recommend shapewear? What brands are we using?
I wear shapewear, and it's just Spanx. I'm sorry.
No, don't
That's the
be
answer.
sorry.
I have
We want
for
to
that.
know.
However, there's this lingerie. So for me, lingerie is one of the most important things, because how clothes are going to sit on you is completely affected by the
What's
bra
on
you
you,
wear.
100%.
And like, that's like 80% of clients I go and I'm like, that bra needs to be. So I really would recommend going to a proper lingerie store. So there's like Secrets for
your
your
sister.
I go to Melmira. That's where I send everyone. That's
Yeah.
at Young and Lawrence. And get a proper bra fitting. I know Melmira sells this brand called Janira, and they swear by it, but I've always just worn the Spanx I've had for the last 20 years. So that's what I'm wearing. But yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm liking stuff that's like no underwires, no padding, things that are really like
comfortable,
or not wear a bra at all. It's been nice. The one silver lining of losing my boobs in the breastfeeding game has been that I get to just wear stuff with no bra. It's actually really great.
What did it change from? Like, what?
I don't remember what size they were, but they went through a lot of sizes because, and Nikita remembers, but maybe they were like a 34 or something, and they were a mid, like in between,
and then
they got crazy and porny. Like at one point when the milk, like 5 months pregnant onwards, was insane. Like I had to take pictures of my own body. It was just, they were like just didn't belong to me. They were massive. I was getting bras that were getting fitted by like these ladies of Victoria's Secret who were like, come to the back or like ease and like whatever it was. And then after a year of breastfeeding, they slowly came back down and then just kind of like little now. But I don't mind it. But it's interesting how your body changes and you're constantly changes. And it changes the way clothes look on you and the choices that you make. And
so I just did a newsletter on this, and I actually did it with Melmira. Because I was a 34, what I thought was a 34C, 36B for the longest time. Because every time I'd go into Victoria's Secrets, that's what they'd tell me.
But they're like, you're a 32D.
I was a 32 double D. Because 32 is not the same as when you know how you talk about 36, 26. It's not the same. It's a total. So I just assumed 32 was like, that was not me, but I am a 32 and I was a double D, and it totally changed everything. Like it blew my mind. So most of the time people are wearing brands that are too big. I mean, I would say you're probably a 32.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Now? Okay. Well, now I don't have any bra on. I just have my little tank top shapewear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Usually the band's too big, which means it's riding up. These are falling down. You need to take a smaller band in, rise.
Well, the back strap should
be straight,
be flush. Yeah.
Yes.
So if it's too big, it rides up the back, and then you're fiddling with the like. Really, you should have the strap should be quite loose because you want it quite far down your back, because then you don't get that like pinching under the pits.
And the other thing too is like
this conversation right now.
Your breasts actually should be in the line of your body rather than going up this way.
Going sideways.
So
okay, so similar line to the shapewear. What about swimwear? So I know you did some major research on this topic in the summer. So what was the final verdict on the best swimsuits out there? It's hard. Swimsuits are tough.
Okay. I have learned the reason why I've made so many mistakes over the years was because I'm long torsoed and I didn't put two and two together. So in short, the answer is Left on Friday is what I would recommend to the average person. For the majority of people, I think that would fit the best. But this is a factor because if you want a skimpy or sexy or this, there are a million options for you. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
You can buy them on Amazon. But, I love, for example, Issa Boulder, Magda Buttram. They make really architectural type
Yes.
of, but they're like
$400.
and they're just, I need coverage up all the way to my waist.
Well,
I
and
think
one pieces
prefer
are
that
really,
too.
yeah, I think that's what our audience would probably be most interested
That's why
in.
I'm
Is like,
saying
what's
it.
a one piece black bathing suit? I mean, we got that when we were doing stuff at other ship. Like, what are you, because, you know, they don't
it's
want to
left
wear
on
a bikini
Friday,
necessarily.
and it's long. It's the long. Oh, I think I have a code to left on Friday. Too.
Okay, let's link it.
Yeah. So on my on their website, because I put it on my newsletter, they have a torso measurement which goes from the crotch all the way up to here. And if you're above 60 inches, it means you're a long torso, and I am a long torso, and that could apply even if you're 5'2". You could still be really long up here, and that's why when I was wearing one pieces, because I wanted belly and butt and all that coverage. Like the wedgies were out of control.
Oh yeah, because of your torso. That makes sense. Yeah.
Like it was riding right up to my bone, like my pubic bone. It was so painful.
Yeah.
But once I figured out this long torso issue.
So they have a style category that's long for
torso
people with longer
that's right.
bodies.
That's so
And
good
they
to
also
know.
have, so they have like a full coverage bottom that covers the full butt and goes up to here, which is fits well. It looks really good. They have like a mid, which I really like. So it has a high leg.
Oh,
that's hard to
nice.
find.
A high leg is important.
High leg with a full butt
I
is like
agree.
so hard.
Yes.
With belly coverage, they have a bottom like that. So those two, I think, for a lot of women would liberate us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they're not going to be the sexiest. They're not like the most fashion forward, but out of everything,
you will feel sexy in it.
I felt,
Well,
and
you don't wanna
therefore
be-
it will be
can I
sexy.
just tell you too? So I was like, I'm going to try the white because I love white on tan skin.
Yes.
And they're lined, the bottom is lined with gray
Oh, brilliant.
and then the top is lined with nude. So like you can't see anything at the bottom. I swear I was
I
like,
love that.
sister-in-law, tell me.
Yeah.
Can
before
you
I
see
walk
my
around."
Yeah,
vagina?
exactly. What about
You know.
now? Do you
I
see
don't
the
mind
outline?
nipples, but
Yeah.
like
That's when your
yeah.
period comes in.
Yeah.
So the white, I will say, is not see-through.
Okay.
So
I
that's
love
really
white
important.
bathing
It's called
suits.
coconut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hot tip. Okay. Lastly, shoes. This comes up a lot too. People are
Okay.
going back to the office. They need something that's appropriate, comfortable, no heel yet polished. What are we buying and where are we buying them?
Okay, so this is again a budget issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I had an unlimited budget, I'd probably be buying all Gilles Sander, all Gilles Sander,
Mm.
because they do great flat shoes. They are fashion forward but highly practical. Adore. And then for the mid range, I would go to brands like do you know 80?
No.
80 is German. 80 Neas, which is British. And then where's the other one which is Spanish. So they're sort of like the mid-range brands that do interesting flats that are good quality.
It's hard to find good flats.
Those you can find on
That
things like
aren't
Essence,
runners.
Yes.
Net-a-Porter. You can actually
yeah.
source those, so that's great.
We're looking at
Um,
like a loafer, maybe. Like what's
Loafer's
the style
great.
that you would recommend for
Again, it's like
whatever people
whatever you
feel
want,
sexy in.
whatever you feel
Yeah,
good in.
if
So
you're
like
not
my
in-
go-to loafer is my Todd's loafer I've had since 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Todd's, it's not fashionable, but they make
It's a classic.
it's classic, and I'm telling you, I walk in puddles of water and it doesn't even leak. It's
I
so
feel like I need a pair of
so
those.
well made.
Yeah.
So well made and worth every penny. I think in 2012 I might have paid like $500 for them.
And what's
$400.
your
Okay, but
cost
it's
per wear on that
2024.
Exactly.
So
You can
do
buy
the math.
that
Yeah.
now,
Exactly.
and then you can buy a not so great quality pair for $500 easily, right? And it'll be done in like 2 or 3 years. So yeah.
Okay. Hot tip. Okay, so we're going to take one final break. And when we get back, we're going to play a fun little game of overrated or underrated fashion edition.
Yay!
Our babies.
When families break up, relationships become strained, positions harden, and finances become uncertain. This is exactly when you need to get in touch with Julie Tyus and the incredible team at Tyus Family Law. We searched for an entire year to find the right lawyer to add to our RMX directory. During that time, Julie came highly recommended to us by multiple sources, with everybody raving about her legal acumen as well as her kindness and empathy. Julie is responsive and approachable, and her objective is straightforward: guiding clients toward a much happier place in their lives calmly, clearly, and as painlessly and cost-effectively as possible. Visit tyasfamilylaw.ca, that's TYAS familylaw.ca, to learn more or to arrange a free 20-minute consultation with one of the experts on the Tyas Family Law team. You won't regret it. Okay, we are back. And it's party time. We're going to do overrated or underrated. And do you want to kick it off, babe?
Sure. Okay. Athleisure. My kid would be like, what do you mean? It's like my only outfit.
I'm gonna go with overrated.
Okay. Fair.
Think people are taking it too far?
Yeah, possibly. Okay. Accessorizing one's hair.
Overrated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry.
I
Do you
with that
agree?
too. Yeah. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't get it.
I don't
Like
I don't
beret-
even know what you
barrettes
mean.
and
It's like
that.
barrettes and
clips
stuff.
and
Clips.
Yeah.
I feel like that's also a teeny bopper. Reminds me of butterfly clips.
Oh my God, do you remember those?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
of
mean they're so
course.
back.
I know.
You go on websites, they're selling those things for
I
like
know.
designer prices.
I know.
now.
It's insane.
God bless.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Okay, next one. Shoulder pads.
Oh, underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love a good shoulder pad.
I like
and the vintage when you buy it and it has
forever.
the OG shoulder pads.
Forever.
Life-giving.
So that's another thing too, right? We talked about how trends come and go. Like that shoulder pad thing was in like maybe 5 years ago, big time. Like
Not
I will
letting
never
go.
drop it.
Me too.
Ever.
Me too. I like a structured look. I always love like shapes
Mm-hmm.
in an outfit, and
silhouettes.
shoulder pads are automatically triangle.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get a shape with a shoulder pad. Love it. Okay, hot pants.
Oh, overrated.
What
I've seen you
defines
pull
hot
off
pants?
something. You
though?
know how
Have
like
you really? Tell me.
have I
then.
not?
I'm
Didn't
like,
you
do I
try
have
a-
hot pants? I feel
Didn't
like
you
I
try
do.
a thing where you were doing a how can I wear these like underwear?
Yeah,
pant
the whole point
things?
was I can't wear them. That was the whole point.
Wait, but what are
I
hot
didn't
pants?
remember.
Like they're just like
little
very
shorty
sexy.
short.
Oh,
They're like
shorty
walking
shorts.
out in underwear.
Yeah, it's
Oh
borderline
no
underwear.
no.
It's a.
I think at our age.
Okay, I feel like
Lisa Corbo would disagree.
it looks, you know, because I did write the article about it. It really looks amazing from a styling perspective, and I
Mhm.
love looking on it on the runway. I like looking
The
at
celebrities
it
do it well.
editorial. But we know realistically that that's just not.
I know.
Can
Where
you
are we
imagine
going?
your
Maybe,
kids would be like, "Why are you wearing
maybe if you were like partying in Miami for a
yeah,
night, like for
true.
sure,
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's
true.
do it.
Yeah.
But like day to day,
Okay, save your hot pants.
I
for
would do it
Miami.
with like a very opaque pantyhose
Yeah, that's
and
cute.
like
That's
a
cute.
pump and like a big blazer.
I
no
think where
makeup.
I've seen it work though, it can't just be like an underwear. It has to have some texture. It has to have
Yes,
some
a sequin
volume,
or
so it
something.
looks actually like a bottom.
Correct.
So yeah.
Yes. It's not
So you
just-
don't look like you forgot your pants.
Not just schmundies. Okay, sequins.
Oh, underrated.
Yeah,
Always,
I know.
forever.
Oh, sequins,
Sequins
forever.
forever. High heels.
High heels, I don't think they're overrated. I think they're just, I will be frank, I can't wear them anymore,
Mm.
but
Me
I
either.
wouldn't say that they're overrated. They look great on whoever can wear them.
I spent so much of my life wearing really high heels in the nightlife and hospitality industry back in like when it was really popular to
Yeah.
do that, 2008 or 2009.
There
You
was-
couldn't go to a party in sneakers
No,
with
you
like
couldn't.
a cute dress. Like that wasn't happening.
No.
We were in our 3-inch heels.
3 at
Minimum.
least.
At least.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
that's like-
sure it fucked up my back.
for sure.
And I left a lot of holes in couches, but
What about, is your bunion, do you have a bunion situation from it?
probably. I'm like
I
a-
do. I do. Like, I think like 3 years ago, I just gave up and I said, realistically,
Yeah.
I'm never going to wear these.
Yeah.
I kept 3 pairs of heels, cleared them all out, and
That
I
must
have felt
replaced
good.
it. Oh, yeah.
I
I
can't
don't
wear
need them.
any heel that's not comfortable though either. And I
Yeah.
used to do that too when I was younger.
I
Like
your-
these are
I like those.
Thanks. That's our
These are
next
fun,
question
right?
about.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm very interested for your take on this.
Okay.
Seasonal color analysis.
I think it's underrated. Yeah.
Do you do this with your clients?
I don't, because people don't really care, but informally I do. Informally, I know what colors work best and what colors don't. And I think it translates in, okay, I will just say wear whatever color you want.
Sometimes you don't look good.
I think I don't think it's a coincidence that you feel like really good in certain colors. And that's because it brings out a lot in your features and that sort of thing. So this is one of my colors, which I never wear this color.
It does look great on you.
Color looks
anyway,
really good on you.
Burnt orange.
I want to do a color analysis.
Rust.
I mean, I probably could do it right here.
Navy, blue.
No, that wouldn't actually be.
So
brown? You would probably be a summer, right? So you would be cool tone, and you would be like not intense, like like light baby blue, dusty, beautiful on those colors. Whatever you're wearing underneath.
Gray, light gray.
That would look good. Whereas like something like this would be very harsh. Not that you can't wear it. Whereas if I wore light blue, it just does not. It doesn't go well.
Disappear in it.
Yeah. So.
Okay. This one's a little bit niche. Correct me if you don't even know who I'm talking about.
I have to Google it for the record.
Okay.
Because I forgot.
Pookie and Jet. Do you know these two?
No.
Oh my God. It's like.
Tell us if you think it's overrated or
Well,
underrated.
I personally think they're underrated.
Oh,
are they?
So there are these two like Southern influencers.
Okay.
And it's
Married,
a husband
older.
and wife.
Okay.
No, they're not older. They're like younger than me.
What? They look. Anyways.
I know. It's the South. It's the hair. It's whatever's happening with the hair down there. And they've become big in like the fashion scene because they do a lot of fit checks together. We'll look at it after.
Okay.
But people are very divided on these.
And you like them.
I've grown to like
Why
them
do you like them?
Because I actually think that he adores her. At first you're like, is this a parody?
Yeah, at first it's a bit.
It feels like
cringy.
a parody.
Yeah.
Like it's like an SNL skit of like people who are ridiculous. But then the more I see
I love that you've
them,
embraced them.
I think I'm going to embrace them. They're like a little wholesome. I feel like we need more wholesome.
Yeah, we do need more
right?
wholesome.
Like wholesome is fine. A man is like obsessed with his wife and wants to do everything for her and calls her Pookie. Like I think it's cute. Okay, fine. Then wearing white after Labor Day.
Okay, so I'm wearing white boots for the record.
Ridiculous.
And it's mid-October and I don't give a flying fuck.
Yeah. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Granted, if you were wearing white linen, that would be weird.
Okay, but that's
because. But if you're wearing white anything else,
yes.
And I love white in the winter.
Yeah,
actually,
gorgeous.
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, a white coat or something in the wintertime
Say
is
no
so
more.
beautiful. Okay, here's another one that's controversial these days. Sneaks. The Spanx sneakers. Spanx sneaker heel situation.
Are sneaker heels back? That was a thing too.
What's her name's trying to make them come back, but
Kimmy Kim?
everyone's divided. No, the lady that started Spanx.
Oh, sorry. I'm getting my shapewear
I'm just going to
confused.
say that I personally don't like them. I just don't. So
I don't like them either.
Whether other people like them or
How
not.
comfortable could they possibly be?
It seems like it's
Maybe
so
you need to
trendy,
try
though,
them.
too, that it wouldn't
I
last.
do, but aesthetically, like visually, I still think they're.
Can you try them at one store for us and send us a selfie?
I will let you know.
We want to make you uncomfortable.
Oh, don't worry. I do that all the time. So.
Well, we know the answer to the last one.
Yeah,
we can ask.
Consignment shopping.
Oh,
underrated.
100%. Yeah, 100% for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. I feel the same way.
What's your favorite in Toronto?
A VSP.
VSP.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But Common Sort does a really good job because they're all over and they're like good for casual stuff too. Okay. So I pop in there for like men's shirts and things like that.
Here's a question.
Value Village.
A good one online for Canadian shoppers. So we're talking, you can't order from the Real Real because we're going to pay duties,
right?
Or Vestiaire, whatever. For Canadian shoppers, do you have one that you go to a lot?
I don't shop online.
I don't shop online either.
Okay.
I have to touch everything.
That's great.
Yeah. Like I lead with my hand. I just like gently touch everything as I walk by it. And whenever something piques my touch interest, I'm like, what's that? And honestly, like that's 8 times out of 10, I'm like, that's fucking awesome. I love this piece.
Yeah.
And
I need to do this and like see it to understand
Yes.
how it'll look on my body is hard online sometimes, unless it's something and it's like casual. If you're buying a sweatshirt or like I don't know,
I'll buy online, like I'll order stuff from Essence, but it's always something that I've seen somewhere else that is now haunting me, that is no longer in the other store, that I'm like, let me see if it's on Essence. And most of the time I do find it on there, but especially if I'm going to spend more than like a couple $100, I really need to like interact with that product.
Yeah. I mean, and that's hard because vintage is often not non-refundable, right? Like,
Exactly. So. No, I'm like, I need to interact.
Vintage, I try usually. I don't buy it before, unless it's a vintage tea or something, but you have to try it.
But even a vintage tea, like I don't want it to still feel like a Gildan t-shirt.
Oh my God,
like,
no. I picked up a really good one lately.
Oh, really?
But it was like premium vintage, and you could tell it was really old, and it was so soft. And I love when things are soft like that and they feel so worn.
It's an oldie.
It's a goodie.
Oh my God, Irene, thank you so much.
It was so much fun, and you didn't even look at your notes.
I didn't.
No. Do you want to show the audience the notes that you brought?
I hate talking on camera.
We're like, why
tell you like the amount of notes I printed off for this? Oh my
That's goodness, how you can tell you used to be a lawyer.
She's like, I came here with my
They're
briefing,
all stapled.
Oh my God.
Okay, so tell everyone where they can find you online, how they can reach you.
You can find me on irenekim.substack.com. My Instagram is at Irene_KF. And
and subscribe to her newsletter.
Yeah. And then you guys are going to put all those discount codes.
Yeah, we will.
We will share the wealth, and you can access your VSP code and your Left on Friday code and whatever ones that you want to give to us. I'm sure that our listeners will appreciate. Thank you again for being here. Thank you to the listeners for tuning in. As always, we would love for you to like, rate, and review this podcast wherever you listen, and share it with a friend who you think would enjoy it. And watch us on YouTube.
Oh yeah, watch us on YouTube. We keep forgetting to say it, but we're going to be on YouTube with this show.
We are on YouTube.
In real time.
This podcast was produced by Space Monkey inside the Soda Studio. The song you're listening to is called Name and Number off the debut album Unrequited by Roshan. Stream it now on Apple Music.
And thanks to this episode's sponsor, Betadine. To learn more about why they've been trusted by healthcare professionals to help treat and prevent infections for over 60 years, visit www.betadine.ca or find them on our directory at therebelmama.com/directory. When you feel the sign, Betadine.